So much for joining us here on this late July day. It's always a great time to talk hockey, and no better time here in Vegas than getting towards the middle part of the summer with the Golden Knights season not too far down the road. Obviously, it was an amazing first season for the Golden Knights, the greatest expansion team in the history of sports, to advance all the way to the Stanley Cup final. So it was a great season on the ice for the team, but also off the ice, the fan support that this team enjoyed was second to none for any organization in the NHL. One of the missions of this team is to grow this great game that we all love, and we've really seen it grow by leaps and bounds here in just one short season here in Southern Nevada. Along those lines, we have a special announcement here today regarding the Lil Knights Program. It's going to take place in 3 rinks around the area. Of course, Dan Patterson here at City National Arena. On hand today, Bob Della Rocca from the Las Vegas Ice Center with us as well, and Wally LaCroix from Sobe Ice Arena. Great to have these gentlemen with us here for this special occasion. Without further ado, and to kind of really take this the next step forward, in a moment I'm going to introduce Kerry Buboltz as our team president here, and he's got a couple of comments, but I just wanted to touch on the D Las Vegas and what they really have meant to the Golden Knights this past season. They've been an incredible partner for the team. Watch parties throughout the playoffs, hosting our podcast, my partner Shane Knighty and I, along with Gary Lawless and Dan Duva, doing regular podcasts from there. We had 10,000 people at the Fan Fest in mid-January at the D, and also a fantastic turnout for the stick salute after the Stanley Cup final. There's one final send-off for the team into the offseason. So they have been fantastic partners, and they're going to take another step towards that once again here today. And to shed a little bit more light on that, the president of the Golden Knights, Kerry Buboltz.
How's everybody doing? So we have an important saying internally with the Golden Knights, and it goes like this. It says, like hockey, community is a contact sport. And here we are today to announce another important step. Dave mentioned it, but you know, we're in the business of hockey. We're in the business of developing this great game, and today is actually another step to our great partners at the D Las Vegas. And we couldn't be more thrilled to be announcing the beginning of the Lil Knights Program presented by the D. And let me just tell you a little bit about what this program is. So we have multiple steps in our development process. The first step is our Learn to Skate program, which again takes place at any of the 3 rinks throughout the Valley area. Then we have our Learn to Play, which again takes place at all 3 rinks here in Las Vegas. And this is that 3rd phase, which is the Lil Knights Program. This starts to get much more structured and gets kids of multiple age brackets the opportunity to get out and actually start to play the game and further develop their skills before they then actually join either a travel program, which would be our Junior Golden Knights program, and or one of the other youth hockey programs here in the market on a structured basis where they actually start playing games. So this is a very important part of the development process, and we couldn't be more excited to be announcing the beginning of the Lil Knights Program. Again, the key being not just here at City National Arena, but at the Sobe Center, at the Las Vegas Ice Center. So again, it's throughout the Valley at all three rinks. And let me just give you a sense for the big picture. As I mentioned before, we're trying to develop this great game. And there's a great story of a player who came out of all places, Phoenix, Arizona. His name is Austin Matthews. You may be familiar. But a year ago, he was the #1 pick chosen in the National Hockey League draft. And again, he didn't come from Toronto, he didn't come from Sweden, he didn't come from Russia, he came from Phoenix. And so as we look at developing hockey in Las Vegas, we think that 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, maybe we can have the #1 player. Maybe it's one of these little guys or gals right here that came out of the Lil Knights Program being the #1 pick in the NHL. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that you may have just seen recently, we have our own Vegas-born player that we just signed to an NHL contract, Gage Quinney, who is coming right out of Las Vegas. So we already have a player that we brought out of our own system right here in Las Vegas. But we're excited about it. This is a great partnership. And it goes back about a year or so ago. Derek Stevens, who's the CEO, I'm going to introduce him in a second. He and I had a conversation about his time in Detroit. and growing up in Detroit. And I'm going to let him tell the story, but it was really his vision that helped lead us to our announcement today. So we're very excited about that. So please join me in welcoming the CEO of the D Las Vegas, Derek Stevens.
Well, Gary, thank you very much for that intro. I really appreciate it. And you know, as a fan, when we first met with Gary and his team back probably now a couple years ago, we always wanted to talk about things that we could do with some of the kids growing up here in Vegas. You know, I owned the AAA team there for a while, and I got to see all these great baseball players come up in Las Vegas. And we all know there's had football players and basketball players, but there's no reason we shouldn't have future NHL players here coming from this great city of Las Vegas. When we started talking, one of the things that was very clear to me, and that I was accustomed to growing up in Detroit, I got to be in a city that actually had two NHL owners, in Pete Carmanos and Mike Ilitch. The benefit that these individuals brought to hockey and to the community of Detroit was just outstanding. I mean, between CompuWare and Little Caesars, and watching all the kids grow up and wearing their sweaters and being so proud that they were hockey players, it's something that really changed the community. And I always thought that you know, something like that could really be developed here, and you know, I couldn't ask for more support with Kerry and what the Golden Knights have done. This program here in Las Vegas is really benchmarked to be the best youth hockey league program in the country, and the coaches and the dedication and the training. This is just going to be a terrific development here for all of Las Vegas. For all the Golden Knights fans, and I'm just so proud that we could have a part in it. So we're looking forward to it. Thanks for the invite here, and this is going to be a great day for youth sports in Las Vegas. So thanks, everybody.
Gary and Derek, thanks very much. There was a formal presentation back in March at T-Mobile Arena announcing that the D Las Vegas is going to fund this program. They're going to fund it for the next 5 years, so they are certainly all in here to continue growing this great game. We have one of the Lil Knights that's going to present jerseys to Kerry and Derek as we speak. Two of the Lil Knights are going to present jerseys. Great job, folks. This concludes the formal program. Those of you that, members of the media, if you want it, the fellows will be available for one-on-ones. Feel free to come over in this direction. I'd be happy to chat with you. Also would invite you to the media, if you were going to have guys here come out on the carpet and maybe get a couple of photos. And the Lil Knights are going to have a little exhibition over here as well. So thank you so much for joining us. Have a good rest of the afternoon. Thank you.